Okay guys, so in the previous video we have seen that how we can create a class and how do we create different objects of the same class with different properties. So you might have wondered what is this syntax dog, which is the class name with a parenthesis, which is similar to a method. So you might be wondering, we have not defined any such method here. So in this dog class we don't have anything called like this dog with a parenthesis. We have wag tail, we have barking, we have eating, we have print color, but we do not have anything like this. So this is nothing but a constructor in Java. So just remember this terminology, which is constructor, and remember this rule that whenever you define a class, the Java compiler actually creates a default constructor which is similar to this. I'll create one for you. Public dog. This is a constructor, and this is being automatically created by Java compiler, which actually instantiates these instance variables. I'll tell you in the next video what are the instance variables. It will actually instantiate all of these with the empty, or if it is an integer, with a 0 value or some values. So whenever you create a class, this particular constructor is a default constructor which is being provided by a compiler to you. So whenever you create an object, this particular constructor is actually called, which actually creates the memory for your particular dog object, which contains these memories for basically 3 variables which are of type string in the Java memory. So this is actually constructor. Now every class is a constructor, and constructor is nothing but a code of block which is similar to a method, and it is actually used to create an instance of the class and allocates a memory for that object in the memory. And it is a very special type of method which does not have a return type. So if you see public wagtail, it has a return type void, that it does not return anything. It has nothing to return, but there is no return type for the constructor. So this is how a constructor is being created, but now this is being implicit, so we don't have to write it, and still my object my object is being created. But there are basically 2 types of constructors in Java, which is parameterized and the default one. So default one is something which I've shown you, and which is being given by the compiler to you. But now I want that here what I'm trying to do is to instantiate the color like this. What I can also do here is I can give a string type of argument of color here, and while creating an object I'm trying to set this color from my class. So this dot color equals to color or color arg, so that you are not confused. So whatever I pass in this constructor, I'm actually assigning it to my color, this is actually nothing but a current class object, the object you are creating. So there are 2 types of color here, that is Tommy's color and the dog color. So this is this dot color, so this is one time Tommy and another time dog. This is nothing but a pointer to the current object of this blueprint class. I'll tell you this in the detail in the later videos. So as of now, what you can see here is I've created a constructor here. So this is a thumb rule that whenever you create a parameterized constructor, Java compiler does not provide you this very special privilege of giving the dog constructor or default constructor to you. You have to create one constructor yourself. So initially let me comment this for you. So when I comment this, all my errors goes because I have not given any constructor. This is how you comment it. So I have not given any parameterized or the default constructor. So the compiler provides the default constructor for this dog class, and my main class is very happy. There is no issue to it. And this dog constructor, because this dog constructor is being provided by Java compiler. But as soon as I provide a constructor with a parameter here, the Java compiler says that if you're providing a parameterized constructor, just provide the default constructor yourself. I am not going to give it to you. So to remove that error, I have to create a default constructor by myself. This privilege is removed by the Java compiler to me. So I have to create this default constructor and all the error goes here. But rather than defining a color like this, I can also do a thing. I can cut from here and can pass this to a constructor itself. So while creating an object, I can actually pass the property of this Tommy, which is color, here. So black comes here and my dog's property color becomes black. And when I try to print that property, it says black. I'll show you how it works. I'll remove the console for you right now. Okay. And similarly, I'll take this white. And while creating an object itself, I'm telling that my dog one will have color which is white. Now the output will be same as before. So I'll do as run as Java application, and you can see dog barks black and dog eats and white. So this two parameters are these two methods which is being printed in a console, and these two parameters for dog one. So have you understood how the parameterized constructor and default constructor works? So if you are not providing any constructor, the Java provides the default constructor to you, which is a privilege. You feel so privileged, wow, the Java compiler provides a constructor for me. But if you provide even a single argument in the constructor and you provide your own constructor, the Java compiler says that now you have to define your own default constructor also. I'm not going to provide it to you. So as of now, I'm not using the default constructor for this dog, so I can remove this, and as it is not a compulsory thing. And everything works as it is. I'll remove. I'll show it again to you. Do run as Java application and see my output remains the same. So this is how constructors work. Now I'll tell you few rules. There are only 3 rules for creating a constructor. The first, that the constructor name, this dog, should be same as that of a class name. Then only you can say that this particular thing is a constructor. If I say dog1, it will consider it as a method and not a constructor, and it says that you should write a return type of this method, because this is no more a constructor, because a constructor name always shares the name of a class. The constructor must have no return type. If I give a return type void, it becomes a method and it is no more a constructor. So this method has a constructor name. So it says either you can change this through constructor or you can change the name. So it should not have a return type. And the very last and the third rule for creating is that a Java constructor cannot be abstract, final, static or synchronized, and all those 4 words, heavy words, I'll explain in my later videos. So I hope how the constructor works, how the constructor is created, how compiler creates a constructor and removes it when you create your own constructor, the rules for creating constructor, types of constructor, that is the default constructor and the parameterized constructor, is now clear to you. In the next video, maybe I'll cover the interview questions for constructor for you. So stay tuned.